Instagram Live. Instagram.
Hello.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome again, guys. Yeah. Weather is bad. It's very warm.
Saturday, remember Saturday? Raining soon.
Oh, that's
And then what's
Sunny.
flash clouds. Good morning, good morning.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays it's really bad. So remember to bring umbrella. Okay, here's the survey. So those of us who are actually joining, just before we start, like if you are, do you wear, not do you wear, do you bring an umbrella? You can wear an umbrella. It's like maybe an umbrella t-shirt. Yeah.
An umbrella for children.
Yeah, for kids, okay. Who wears, who brings an umbrella to work?
At least for me, I leave an umbrella here. And I have another one in my car.
Okay. Who brings your umbrella in your bag?
Yeah, I used to bring umbrella in my bag.
Yes.
When I carry a backpack.
Yeah.
With umbrella inside.
Okay, who brings a backpack nowadays? Yeah.
Me.
Provided you go to office, right? So for those of us who are actually not going to office, you don't have to. Yeah. So yeah, that's why. If you're working at home, you don't need to bring so many things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Welcome again, guys. Thanks for joining us. We are at the SOW, which is the start of the week. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And those of you who are joining us for the first time, if you're wondering what start of the week is, it's a session where every week we bring you news on what's happening latest in the week or the past week. And we just pick up the topic and we'll just talk a little bit about it. And hopefully it'll be more relatable to you. And as you can see, I've got two young chaps here. Okay, the one on my immediate side is actually Chiong.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. So Chiong is actually one of our senior wealth advisors, and he's joining us today just to share some of his personal take and personal opinion in the topic that we'll be covering today. And of course, you have someone that is already not familiar, not stranger to all of us. Okay, and that's Benjamin.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, in case you do not know, okay, my name is Gaius and I'll be the one that is asking the questions today. Okay, so just to kickstart and everyone, okay, if you can see from our title today, it's no time already, not enough time, okay, should I Chiong? Okay, so what does that mean? Okay, effectively what we want to do today is that we want to pick up on the topic where there is actually a lot of hype on short-term solutions, short-term savings, short-term investments, should it be something that we should look into, or rather should it be something that you can consider, and what are the considerations or what are the so-called like concerns that we need to actually include that in as you decide on. Okay, so just to pick up the story or pick up the pace a bit. Okay, so Chiong and Ben. Okay, based on this topic, right? Okay, let me just ask. Okay, do you guys have a short-term goal?
Yes, I do have.
Okay, all right.
For example, now time flies from circuit breaker because my second child is almost coming to 1 year old. He was born during the circuit breaker. So it was a really very memorable moment for us. And now that our family has grown into a nucleus of 4, so definitely a short-term goal for our family is to get a family car. So that it'll be easier when we actually go out to actually have our family time. So this is one of the very short-term goal that I'm having right now.
Okay, good. How about you, Ben?
So I think maybe the first thing I would want to let our audience know is how do we define short-term goals? Short-term.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good thing.
For me, I think the general consensus is that short-term should be anything less than 5 years.
Okay.
So anything more than 5 years would then be considered mid. And then finally, after 10 years, there'll be a long-term goal. Right. So I think for myself, it's something along the lines of Chiong. I'm expecting my first child next month. So thank you. We're excited about that. But right now, the house is becoming a little bit, I would say, cozier.
Okay.
Right. I think really for me, short-term goal, 5 years time would be upgrading to a bigger place,
Mm.
having my own study. Of course, I'm happy that my current study is converted to a baby room. Just,
Okay,
you really feel the joy and everything.
You mean your study room, right? Not you don't want to go and study again, right?
No.
Okay.
Definitely. I would think about going back to study, but not at this point in time because baby's coming along, right?
You can study your baby all the way. Yeah. Yes. Read all your parenting books.
Yeah. So that's something that definitely we will be doing. Reading our parenting books and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, while holding the milk bottle. Yes. Those of you who remember what parenting is like. Okay.
It's a different experience altogether, right? I know parenting is something that everybody after you reach a certain phase, you suddenly want to recall and want to go back to doing parenting again. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, coming back to the topic, my short-term goal, next 5 years, it's upgrading to a bigger property.
Okay. All right. Okay. So in this case, right, now that both of you have your idea of a short-term goal, okay, so what are you currently doing to reach your short-term goal?
Good question.
Either of you can start first.
For myself, currently it's just to make sure that my cash flow and I'll be able to have a fixed savings every month because I'm also waiting in terms of like the COE and a few things as well, and waiting for my wife to get the license so that it'll be more efficient. So that's why in between, mine is within the next 1 year, but there isn't any fixed date. So that's why I've been using the more traditional method whereby I'll just make sure that excess savings to put into my another account just for my short-term goal.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that means like for Chiong, what you're thinking of like really just stash up or like accumulate all your money and put in a savings account.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Any particular savings account that you can share that is good?
I do not have like any particular savings account. It's just that make sure that this account is separate and is different from whichever account that we are going to use like day to day. Because I do have a few accounts personally and also have a joint savings account with my wife. So currently, because this is our short-term goal together as a family, so it's inside our family funds, our family joint account.
Okay. Good point. That means like what you have is actually a normal savings account, guys. But what I pick up is that you are setting aside and it's different. Okay,
For savings kind of way.
Yeah, it's a separate account. It's not your it's the expenses account, right? Okay, good. Ben, how about you?
I think for me personally, I'm a bit more of a risk taker. So it's definitely going along the lines of because I got 5 years time horizon. If I were to have something like Chiong, it's a 1 year and it's something that might even be lesser than 1 year, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. But primarily, it's in unit trusts or equities. So that's where to save up for my short-term goal, I put it into instruments.
I see. Okay. Let's pick it up a little bit. Interestingly, Ben, you mentioned about unit trusts, and so these are generally instruments that can yield a little bit better returns, right?
Yeah.
So if but there are risks, right?
Yeah, of course.
Aren't you concerned?
So back to the topic, right? I think it's higher risk equals to higher returns. That's what we all hope for. So of course there's risk, but it's also understanding what you're comfortable with. I always tell my clients it's about having that time horizon, right? Having that 5 years outlook. If I were to do an investment into unit trust, for example, and then next day suddenly the market tanks, do I have that long-term horizon in my head that because the market is now at a low, should I be a bit greedier? Because most of the time we just panic and then we forget that it's actually a 5-year time horizon. Am I reaching my 5 years already?
Okay.
Yeah. So that to me is how I mitigate that risk, and of course having financial advisors coming in to give me that overall picture. That's where I get a bit more unseen in a way.
Okay. All right. Okay. So maybe in this case also, I may ask one more question. Is like Ben, because maybe both of you let's say you are investing, right? Okay. So let's say you need money.
Yeah.
Okay. And somehow your instruments are actually not able to withdraw at that point of time. What do you suggest to to have any backup plan, or do you have any backup plans?
That's a good question. So I think I'll pick this up.
Yeah.
So of course there is always a backdoor, right?
Yeah.
I always believe in not putting all my eggs into one basket.
Yeah.
Right. And especially like what you just said. For me, it's very important that we have this thing that we've talked quite a fair bit previously.
Yeah.
It's having the emergency fund. Right.
Okay.
Having that particular portion where I've set aside that can help me get through the number of years. And of course, like for a house, for example, 5 years, it's the limit I'm giving myself. That does not mean 5 years I need to get that house within that 5-year period, right? It can stretch out a little bit, can wait for the market to recover in a way. But of course, having the emergency fund, to me, that is how I feel at least.
Okay, good. How about Zhong Jie?
Similarly, I think for myself and for our family, emergency fund is there to be okay, because I think emergency fund in our family, I also want my wife to have assurance. So emergency fund is all under her name.
Yeah.
So this is something that to give her more assurance, and emergency fund is the one
that's
to get to see the
yeah.
value that is usually higher. So yes, it's all under her name. So that assurance, I think, is something that we can give as a husband to the wife. So so emergency account is under her name, and this emergency fund will be a separate account that is managed by, in a way, it's like we are managing together, but for her under her name.
Only she can draw it out.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay,
You have the access to it.
I think this
so
is like
guys,
a topic.
Yes. If there's one takeaway, and if you're married, or if you're actually looking to get married, or you have a girlfriend, or even a spouse, what you can do is actually put the name under the person. You can continue putting money, and then if your spouse is actually happy, then I think all of us will be happy, right?
The assurance that they have control over the money, I think that's something that.
Yes, and of course, like make sure that the account got money, right? Okay, good point, guys. So let me just recap for our listeners today is that if you want to save on your short term, you can take some risk, provided you know how long you want to take, and how long is the duration and what kind of risk you are taking, and at the same time putting some emergency backup options for all of us, so that in this case when there is a need. Who decides to access it? Would it be you or your spouse or your girlfriend or your husband? That is important to think about. Okay, great. Thanks, guys, for today for our sharing. And maybe in this case, we can round up Ben or Zhong Jie. Do you have any last advice or last words that you can actually give to our listeners?
Zhong Jie is ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think for myself, it's back to the same old topic, repeating myself once again. It's your risk appetite, right? It's really about knowing yourself, knowing your risk appetite, and then from there, speaking to somebody that you really trust. From there, let them formulate a plan. You yourself being comfortable with the plan, having that horizon, investment horizon in mind. Then from there, you can decide on which instrument to go for.
Okay.
I think for myself, it's more important to have a financial blueprint, because it's very important that, for example, when you're building a house, you definitely need a blueprint to start off to build up. So, of course, not only that, having a blueprint, you have to sit down together with a professional, which I think is best at either someone you can trust in terms of like more financial literate or financial advisor or consultant, so that this will be able to help and for them to give you advice and guidance on what you're going to do, be it for your short-term goals, medium, or even long-term goals. So this is very important.
All right. And of course, like if I may add, if you want to speak to your consultant, do bring along your wife or your husband as well. It will make things easier for you to communicate each other. And of course, when you do planning, it's still a group or rather like a family thing. You don't have to do it on a solo. And so basically, guys, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us. Okay, and if you like us, like our channel, and do leave a comment. Do subscribe to us and like our handles. And once again, this is Start of the Week SOW. Have a good week ahead. Bye bye.
Bye.